Hello, good morning future teachers, especially to our Science 102 instructor. Good morning Ma'am Shandy Go ako. We are here today to present our first presentation, which is in continuation to our lesson 1 topic, which is science curriculum framework. In behalf of my teammates, I will present them by showing their handsome and beautiful faces. They introduce their name accordingly to their assigned topics. So, before our presentation starts, we have prepared a short prayer video that will give us motivation and guidance today. So future teachers, get ready to lend your ears for our lessons for today's discussion. Our second lesson topic, which is all about framework for Philippine science teacher education. So let's go and begin with
Okay, good morning everyone. So, by the way, I am Lalaine de Guevara, the first reporter. So, at this point, we will going to discuss the lesson 2 of module 1 that talks about the framework for Philippine science teacher education and overview. So, in our module, as you can see, we have a specific learning outcomes and lesson map kung asa naa dito ang mga important topic na i-discuss nato for today. So, we have here the guiding principles of science teacher education, in which these principles is relevant for teachers since there are the teacher is the one who will going to teach and educate our young children when it comes to science and even in other subjects. So here are the summary. So first, teacher education is a continuum that starts at the recruitment of high school students into the teacher education institutions and ends sometimes around retirement or perhaps even after. So when we say teacher education, it is a policies and procedures that designs for teachers to provide the knowledge, the attitudes, skills, and behavior that required to perform in the classroom or even in a wider community. So, according to the National Council for Teacher Education, that this teacher education is a program of education, research, and training of person to teach from pre-primary to higher education level. So, continuous lang siya from primary to education, to higher education. Okay, next, the quality of good science teaching can only be defined in terms of its effect on the learner. It is important that teachers should engage all the students in the purposeful and successful learning. So yes, it is very much important yun na ma-deliver ng teacher ang each topic sa ija estudyante pagtarong, because once ang estudyante makasabot sa tag-discuss ni teacher, it is easy for them to answer those question na i-ask ni teacher sa klase. So I have here example. This is based only sa akong personal experience as a mother. Is nag-eskwela naman na ako bata. So sa first teacher ni Jai is kanang active kaayo siya, and every time na there is kanang question and answer portion, so dali ra kayo siya makatubang. Then sa second teacher ni Jai is nag-wonder ako nganong dili na kayo siya active every time na yung mga question, dili dahil siya dali makatubag sa mga pangutana ng teacher. So, I don't know kung asa dito ang problema. But, remember that in teaching, there is no perfect. Yun. What is important is we will do our best as a teacher to find the best strategy na mo fit sa ato estudyante para sa ina successful learning. So, we have here number 3, the knowledge and skills of effective science teachers differ in the fundamental respect across the subjects and context, hence the need of the subject-specific standards. So the standards will help teacher work for deeper understanding of their subject and how to teach it. It will raise the level of commitment to working creatively and constructively with other teachers. The standards will make them accountable for what happened in the classroom as well as for their own professional growth. So, standards. So, we have here seminars. So, through seminars na i-undergo ng mga teacher is mas napa-improve pa ang understanding and skills nila in that subject on how to teach it. And because of this, mas na-level up pa ang commitment ng teachers. Makiktrabaho sa other teachers just to expand their knowledge about science teaching and about their professional growth. Okay, we have here number 4, upgrading the knowledge, skills, practice, and attitudes of teachers in an individual decision. But this is sustained and enhanced when the efforts are collaborative and synergistic among communities of teachers. So, ang tanan improvement ng isa ka teacher is nagdepende sa teacher if he or she want to be knowledgeable enough or kung gusto pa ba niya madugangan ng iyang skills in that particular subject. So, kung willing siya, then mag-undergo siya ng mga seminars. But in a communities of teachers, mas sustained and ma-enhance na gihapon ang learning. Basta, sabayan lang ng effort and collaboration.
Good
Next.
morning again, everyone. By the way, for those who don't know me yet, my name is John Marin Julia Guhiting. My content discussion was in continuation of the report of Miss Lalaine Guevara, which is all about the guiding principles of science teacher education. Next is the 5th principle, which is teachers are committed to extending their knowledge and improving their practice. Therefore, teacher development should be an active and reflective transformation of knowledge and skills in actual context. Teacher development activities should engage teachers in active, interactive, problem-oriented, hands-on, and creative group activities, instead of having teachers passively receive new inputs. These activities must also engage teachers in critical reflection on whether their current practices and beliefs actually bring about effective student learning. Finally, these teacher development activities must be contextualized and situated in environments that can support meaningful teachers' growth. A good teacher needs to be continuously nurtured and rewarded. Teacher commitment to learning enables teachers to alter teaching practices to help in learning. Teacher performance is one of the most important criteria contributing to conducive learning environment for students. On the other hand, teachers' development means continuing education effort for educators. It's the way by which teachers can improve their skills and both student outcomes. With the development of teachers, they learn several new techniques and methods of teaching. That is why teacher development activities should engage teacher in active, interactive, problem-oriented, hands-on, and creative group activities instead of having teachers possibly receive new inputs. A teacher must have interaction to his or her students to have positive classroom environment so that affects the learning and growth of students positively. To make it short, school science should demonstrate a commitment to the development of a culture of science. A culture of science is characterized by excellence, integrity, hard work, and discipline that teachers must possess. Next is the teacher-centered educational processes tend to develop low levels of student involvement and interest in the learning process of often lead to low levels of student learning. In science, teacher-centered commonly uses direct instruction to educate the students because it does not include student preferences or give them opportunities for hands-on or alternatives type of learning. It's also fairly low-tech, often relying on the use of textbooks and workbooks instead of computers and any devices. Para sa una, magamit ra hands-on ra sila sa ilang pag klase, dili sila magamit doon mga devices or iton mga computers. But today, teacher-centered used to prefer inquiry-based learning and discovery of education because they allow students to be responsible in their own learning process through their own interest to formulate their own problems. That is why this includes promotes the science and technology for teachers. And the last principle, which learners develop concept and skills from engaging meaningful, challenging, and relevant experiences and from teachers who encourage them to construct their own ideas. In this principle, effective teaching strategies makes learning interactive and relevant. If the students are participating their learning, they will be more engaged and learn more. If it is relevant to their lives, then your content is more meaningful to a student, and they will similarly learn more. So, as what have I said earlier, effective science teacher involves students' sense of natural events and the science ideas underlying them. In other words, they actively engage students in wondering and figuring out science phenomena around them and how they happen. So, a science teacher provides instruction and guidance to help students explore and understand the importance of concept in science. And that's that's all the guidance the guiding principle of science teacher education. The last part is the major challenge in formulating using the standard is how we can assist teachers help move students from I know to I know how to know.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. My name is Flordelita Swan. My assigned topic is about the qualities of effective science teacher. There are many qualities to become effective and a good science teacher. First, you must have the sincerity of purpose. Why did you choose to become a teacher? Teacher should have possess the passion, a love, and dedication towards the teaching profession. A good teacher must also be studious and ready to learn everything. A very desirable quality of a teacher is his or her taste for reading. He should have the habit of keeping himself in touch with the latest development, especially belonging to his own subjects. The third quality of effective science teacher is a good communicator of ideas. A teacher should have clear speech and should be able to convey his ideas to his pupils with ease and effectiveness. Fourth, plain speaking. A teacher by nature should be truth-loving and plain speaking. Teacher must have courage to say the right thing as right and wrong ones as wrong. Impartial behavior and attitude is a big no, no, no. A good science teacher should not have any biases towards his students. He or she should treat fairly, equally, and justly. Another thing is a good science teacher must have hardworking and responsible to her or his job. He should inspire his students to acquire a taste of learning doing safe work as well as sharing responsibilities with all his keenness and sincerity. Teacher has affectionate behavior. The teacher should create an atmosphere of goodwill, love, and cooperation in matter of dealing with his students. A teacher should not lose her or his patience and unnecessarily get disturbed over minor mistakes and shortcomings of his pupils, but must demonstrate a lot of patience in dealing with them. On the other hand, the pupils should not always live in constant fear of the teacher, but must try to receive proper guidance from their teacher. The ninth has something to do is leadership and discipline. A good science teacher is also good leader. He should be able to inspire students to seek knowledge with sincerity and inculcate discipline and obedience among students. Another good quality of a science teacher must possess is to have great self-confidence. A teacher must have confidence in his or her abilities. This confidence must be demonstrated through his behavior in general and his classroom teaching in particular. The seventh effective science teacher has mastery of his subjects. A science teacher should have abstract understanding of his subject of study so that he will be able to answer all the questions and the problems put him by his students. A science should not always be an expert in his subjects, but also have a good working knowledge of the other related subjects. For example, the physics teachers should have good knowledge of mathematics and biology. Teachers should know much about chemistry in order to do justice with his teaching. A good science teacher should possess scientific thinking and attitude. Teacher must attempt provide science education in such a way as to inculcate in the pupils a habit of teaching the ability of certain beliefs and facts by their own independent observation and experimentations. A good science teacher must have efficiency in preparation and use to teaching aids. The science teacher should have sufficient skills, improving and constructing his own aids in teaching of science. Needless to say that he should have full self-confidence in handling all types of demonstration as well as using all types of audiovisual aids for making the science teaching as effective as possible. A good science teacher should have taste and love for organizing and participating in scientific activities like science laboratory and science club, organizing science fairs and engaging in the purposeful scientific habits. The next quality is about the knowledge of methods of teaching science. It is also essential for a science teacher for being trained in the latest techniques, strategies, and methodology of teaching science, including the use of all types of material and development technology. A good science teacher are able to raise the curiosity level of student. A good science teacher should be able to inculcate a sense of curiosity in their students. They must know how to get them to wonder about all that exists and think about what could exist the persist in making confidence.
Good day everyone, I am Escobilito Nicole L from B.Ed 2A. So today I'm gonna report, and my report is all about professional knowledge. So what comes first in your mind when you hear about professional knowledge? What is professional knowledge? Professional knowledge means an understanding of theory, techniques, practice, and principles gained through degree level discipline-based study. The development is to give professionals the opportunity to learn and apply new knowledge and skills that can help them in their job and further their career. So, when you are a professional knowledge style is you know how to experience that students bring their classroom affect their continuing learning, ensure that the profession practitioner would provide the highest quality of work and done properly and safely. And professional knowledge includes and the first one is knowledge of science content. So, knowledge of science content. Content knowledge refers to the disciplinary conceptual knowledge of the teacher. Good subject knowledge of involves understanding the substance, content, structure, and organization of the science subject itself. So, the importance of knowledge of science content in our own content knowledge is affect how we interpret the content goals we are expected to reach with our students. It is affect the way we hear and respond to our students and their questions. It affects our ability to explain clearly and to ask good questions. Science demands of science go beyond inquiry skills, being able to read, view, and speak about lessons
of a variety of texts in science. All students will access new scientific content with this knowledge of science content and address a result and develop their scientific knowledge. And for the second one is knowledge of pedagogical content. Pedagogical knowledge refers to the specialized knowledge of teachers of creating effective teaching and learning environment for all students. So, pedagogical content knowledge is her ability is to educators transform and apply deep and flexible understanding for science content and knowledge through appropriate and varied instructional strategies, materials, analogies, explanation, examples, demonstrations, and representations, coupled with intellectual knowledge of how students learn given sensitivity for students' cultural background and dialects. And for the third one is knowledge of general pedagogy. Knowledge of general pedagogy prepares teachers' knowledge about characteristics and cognitive level of variety of learners-centered teaching and learning approaches, including the subject of mathematics. The teacher teach and that students are expected to learn in given subject of content areas such as English language arts, mathematics, science, or social studies. And the fourth one is knowledge of science curriculum. The science curriculum aims to help children develop basic scientific ideas and understanding about biology and physical aspects of the world and the process through which they develop this. In this task, teachers are asked to demonstrate their ability to analyze and interpret students' errors and patterns of errors reading. Teachers are asked to analyze and interpret a transcript of a given student's oral reading and given passage.
Good morning, Mom. Good morning, classmates. My topic is all about the pedagogical content knowledge. So this topic refers to knowledge that the teacher must have to be able to teach the subject matter. So it is the knowledge of the teacher kung unsa ang iyang dapat itudlo sa usa ka pupils or usa ka mga estudyante. And then, this type of knowledge is complex with many interactive aspects included under general pedagogy. So, pedagogical content knowledge is a type also of knowledge that is unique to teachers. So, unique ka na. It means kakaiba. Kakaibaan is based on the manner in which teachers relate their pedagogical knowledge. So this is the knowledge of the teacher. The teacher, what they know about the teaching. Kung unsa ilang nahibaw-an sa pagtudlo, and then what they know about what they teach. So kung unsa ilang nahibaw-an, unsa ang ilang nahibaw-an kung unsa sila magtudlo. What they know about what they teach. Kung unsa ang ilang itudlo sa mga estudyante or sa mga bata. So, balik ta diri sa pedagogy. What pedagogy means? It means pedagogy means most commonly understood as the approach to teaching. Is the theory and practice of learning and how this process influenced by the social, political, and psychological development of learners. And it is also include teaching styles, feedback, and assessment. So, it is include also the teaching styles, teaching styles kung unsang imong mga techniques sa pagtudlo aron ang mga bata maka-learn more learning from the teachers. Most common is as the approach to teaching, kung usaon ni sa pagtudlo pagtudlo sa usa ka teacher ngadto sa mga pupils regarding sa subject matter. Labi na ang science is in elementary, because we are the PE students, no? So in the future we are teachers soon. So if we have pupils in elementary, so science is more on experiment, or science is naanato mako ng parts of the body, parts of the plants, mga ana. So about the weather na ana siya sa science, no? So kinahanglan ang teacher is kanang kabayo siya kung unsaon pagtudlo. Kinahanglan ang teacher is na ay more knowledge about science, because ang science is kanang kinahanglan nga makasabot ka labida ng mga parts of the body. So, kinahanglan may bawa na sa mga teacher parts of the plant, so that ang teacher makadeliver og insakto ngadto sa mga estudyante. And then we go on to knowledge of the curriculum and materials. This knowledge refers to knowledge of the place of science in the basic education level, the interrelatedness of the content of science, discipline, and with other curricular areas and the quality materials needed to support the curriculum. So, kini knowledge of the curriculum and materials is kanang nagkuan ni sa kanang mga materials, halimbawa kanang experiment, kinahanglan na kay mga materials na more on mapakita sa mga bata. Kung halimbawa kanang usa ka plants, no, kinahanglan na kay mapakita sa ilang nga plants, kung makita nila dito kini ang sa ni leaves ni siya, kini parts of the body sa plants, may bawaan nila dito nga ay mao din na siya, inga na din na, so makita nila ang usa ka plants, ang mapakita ninyo aron mahibawaan nila nga inga ni ay ni ang usa ka plants, no? Kinahanglan ang imong mga materials is kanang makita nila ba nga naa gyud, dili kay puro lang ka discussion nga kanang makita nila sa picture. So kinahanglan naa sila makita nga actual, no, visual nila nga makita gyud in person nga usa ka plants. Madayan nimo dito ang mapakita nila sa kini mo sa ang leaves, kini mo ang stem, ang laong, kanya na siya ang sa knowledge of the curriculum. No, knowledge of curriculum. No, knowledge of curriculum includes awareness of various instructional materials, teaching procedures, and learning objectives. So includes awareness of various instructional materials, teaching procedures, kung unsa nimo pagtudlo, and learning objectives nga giunsa nimo pagtudlo sa mga bata, no? Ang kini ang includes awareness of various instructional materials. So kinahanglan na agad ang materials nga within that area na makita sa mga bata nga while nag-discuss ka, nakita sa mga bata nga ang materials nga gamiton for the topic is na makita sa mga bata. So we go on to material knowledge. As knowledge of the selection of currently available materials and ways of processing the required materials and tools. So, regarding sa materials, naiuban nga area is kanang dito sa mga bukid-bukid nga area is kanang kung unsa lang ang available materials, mao lang imo mapakita sa ilaha. Pero kung sa mga bukid-bukid nga area, kung magamit kag example na plants, no, siguro dili maglisod ang sa teacher ka kung sa mga bukid-bukid daghan ka mapakita nga mga plants. So kung lahi na nga mga activities na kinahanglan jud nga mga materials na kanang materials nga kinahanglan mga experiment nga dili lang sa plants na mga gamit, no, halimbawa lang sa mga parts of the body, no, kinahanglan mapakita pud na nimo sila nga kanang insakto, no, bisan kung dili ang selection of currently available materials. Kung dito sa mga area lagi sa akong gikaingon na sa lang ang available na materials, pero kinahanglan pud ikaw nga teacher na kay technique styles kung saan nimo sila pagpasabot, kung unsa lang man ang ipakita nila sa mga bata. Pero as a teacher, o kinahanglan kabayo ka nga kung mauna na ang imong ipatapik kana nga topic mo na naimong itapik. So kinahanglan ready ka na mag-provide sa mga materials aron dili ka maglisod sa pa-explain sa imong mga pupils in the future. So mao lang to, ma'am. Thank you.
Good day everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about professional practice. This category outlines what teachers are expected to do to achieve quality learning outcomes, the objective of science education. It also expects teachers to work with the learners, colleagues, parents, and other community members to achieve this objective. When we say professional practice, the teacher uses his or her professional knowledge and understanding of pupils, curriculum, legislation, teaching practices, and classroom management strategies to promote the learning and achievement of his pupils. Okay, there are 6 teaching practices that are unique to science teacher, but I'm going to discuss the 3 only. First, design sound science teaching and learning experiences suitable for needs and interests of varied learners. Okay, before to discuss the science, we should talk about the nature of science, no? Bisarta magtudlo sa ila, explain na to sa ila, kasabot na to ug unsa ang science. And we should think also first if this discussion is suitable for them. Dili kay basta ra lamang ta magtudlo. Wala sila kay bawog unsa ni. Wala ni hunahuna ang imong gitudloan is grade 3, pero ang imong gitudlo is pang grade 6. Syempre dapat ibagay nato kung kani nga mga discussion or topics is bagay sa ilaha. Number 2 is creates and maintains a learner-centered, emotionally supportive, and physically safe learning environment. Syempre, kung magtudlo ta, atong isupport ang atong mga estudyante, no? Aron dili sila mawadan og gana sa pag-learn about sa science. Kung unsay ilang gusto, kung unsay ilang gustong buhaton, basta maka-learn lamang sila, isupport nato. Ikatulo is engage students in scientific investigation to be able to generate, construct, and test knowledge and evaluate evidence. We should discuss issues with the students and asking them questions, no? Aron makita nato ug hibaw-an nato kung nakatun ba sila o wala. Kung kabalo na ba sila mo solve sa mga problema about science, no? Kaya maura to. Salamat.
Good day everyone, I am Princess M. Galon and my assigned topic was a continuation of Miss Taliman report about professional practices. So let's start. So practice number 4, finds and implements ways to extend a student's understanding of the ideas and concept being learned. So some ways of that is the teacher should provide some answer sheets or an activity before and after the discussion. For example, before it start the discussion, the teacher can give some pretest or it would be an Q&A technique to test if the students have already an idea about the topic. And then after the discussion, there will be an assessment or an activity that is related to the lesson to test students' learning and understanding about the topic. So, dali na part, pwede ka makagamit ng technologies. Magpa-play ka ng videos sa ila. For example, an video topic is different kinds of animals. So, magpa-play ka ng video about animals. Then, mag-ask ka ng mga questions sa ila kung ano ikibali ila nakita dito sa video. So, by that, ma-interest ang mga students na mamati sa imo discussion and para sa dili ma-feel kay no mga elementary students kay dali ra magud sila ma-board. So para sa may ganahan sila mamati sa imo lessons kung may mga ways ka na himuon. Practice number 5 builds students' confidence and capacity to use scientific knowledge and processes to make informed decisions. For this practice, the teacher should understand young children with young minds. Kasi bilang isang guro, you need to appreciate student participation or student effort. For example, one of your student answer your question, then his or her answer is not aligned or hindi siya swak doon sa binigay mong tanong. Hindi mo dapat diretsuhin yung bata na, uy, mali yung sagot mo, hindi dapat ganito, ganyan. Because there are some possibilities na pagtatawanan siya ng mga classmates niya or next time mahihiya na siyang mag-participate sa klase. Instead, you need to appreciate his or her efforts. Dahan-dahan mo itong ipapaintindi sa kanya na dapat ganito yung exact na answer para sa tanong na yun. So that the students will realize at mas maiintindihan pa niya ng lubos ang mga aralin. One of the reason kasi na they feel like nilo-lockdown sila ng mga teachers nila. There are some differences when it comes to student treatment, nahihiya at nawawalan sila ng gana pag ganun. So, teachers should build student confidence, especially in academic. Teacher should be a supporter of his or her students. Hindi dapat natin ilo-lockdown yung isang estudyante. Practice number 6. Use a wide variety of strategies consistent with learning goals to monitor and assist students' learning and to provide effective feedback. In a classroom, you are using some strategies, especially in teaching strategies. You need to have an evaluation and assessment to have a better discussion and learning. So, dapat sa paggawa pa lang ng lesson plan ay maayos na so that in actual teaching, it's already organized and maayos yung flow sa discussion nyo. So, pwede mong gawin pagkatapos ng discussion is conduct a group activity or kaya give them a formative assessment, create classroom centers. So in that way, dira nimo mahibalan ang resulta kung ang isa ka estudyante is naabadyoy na learn about sa topic or wala. So dira taman ako report. Salamat sa pagpamati.
Professional attributes. Professional attributes are those characteristics that enable teachers to embrace change to develop and improve teaching practice as well as sustain professional growth. Professional attributes include modeling scientific inquiry skills and scientific attitudes. So, professional attributes, these are the characteristics that a teachers should have or embrace in order to develop and improve their teaching, as well as the teacher or the student also will love to listen and motivated by them. It says that these attributes include being reflective, committed to improvement, and becoming active members of the professional community. Attribute 1. Analyzes, evaluates, and refines teaching practice to improve student learning of science. In order for the students to learn and to improve their listening skills or listening, the teachers should always analyze what are those words or what are the basic or the importance, so that the student will listen to them and will cooperate. Next is the attribute to, works with other teachers within the school and joins professional teachers and or community organization to improve the quality and reflectiveness of science education. Yes, one of this example is the community cleanup drive. Teachers also or the school also will they can also cooperate with the community. That project will improve the student or the teacher's capacity or their attribute to improve those qualities that they have. Yan. Thank you. That would be all.
Hi everyone, my name is Isabel A. Argilias and this is just the continuation to the report of Miss Sagero. Start. The standards for science teachers demand bold, flexible professionals equipped with quality teaching practices. The standards will guide them to work towards an in-depth knowledge and pedagogical understanding of science subjects they will teach. In addition, the standards will help teachers elevate their level of commitment to the education and well-being of students regardless of sex, background, level of ability, or style of learning, increase their understanding of how students learn and develop, and assist in adapting teaching and assessment to student needs. So, the standards of being a science teacher is to be bold daw. Kaya diba, you have to teach or to show everything man to your students para ma-learn gajud nila tananan imo mga discussions. And of course, you have to be flexible as well daw kay diba dapat himuon man nimo tanan para ma-reach out or ma-deliver nimo ang tanan mga discussions nimo sa imo mga students. And it also stated there na inin standards sa isa ka science teacher will definitely help teachers, of course, na maka-learn sila not just sa ila subject but also sa mga performance or attitudes na gina-express or ginapakita ng mga students towards sa science na subject. So it's really important gajud na well prepared ani sa ka teacher na magtudlo ng science na subject kay especially sa elementary na levels usahay ang mga bata dili pa sila curious or interested sa science na subject. So it is really your duty as a teacher to let your students learn from this subject. Next, likewise, they will enhance teachers' skills in classroom management, instructional methods and strategies including technology and use of various types of assessments to analyze students' progress and plan instruction. They will build up collaborative approach to relationships with colleagues, parents, cultural institutions, and a broader community of interest in education and step up dedication to lifelong learning and professional development. So with those experiences daw na imo ginasugat sa imo pagtudlo, ma-develop daw ang imo learnings sa pag-manage nimo ng imo classroom as well as sa pag-create nimo ng mga activities. And of course, you will also learn on communicating sa mga parents, other institutions na i-advocate or endorse an education para sa mga bata. So grabe an standard na imo i-maintain kay this will definitely help you man to become more professional in the field of education. So, thank you. Amora adto. Siguro, please subscribe. Charot.
So, hi guys. Greetings to each and every one of you. So, my assigned topic for today is about constructivist theory in teaching science. So, when we say constructivism, it is an important learning theory that educators use to help their students learn. Constructivism is based on the idea that people actively construct or make their own knowledge, and that reality is determined by your experience as a learner. So it says here that constructivist teaching is anchored on the fundamental belief that dating individuals are actively involved in meaning making and knowledge constructions process. So, when you socialize or when you date with the individuals, with other people, it's such a big help, or there's an actively involved in what? In making, no? In making our own knowledge or constructing our own knowledge, right? So next is Dewey's idea. Transformative education suggests that education must foster the development of critical thinking among the learners via reflection, exploration of the environment, and hands-on experiences. So transformative experiences of theory of John Dewey, it focuses on how in-school learning can enrich out-of-school experience by expanding perception, contributing meaning and value to future experience, and transforming our relationship with the world. O- expanding our ideas, expanding our perception, our own reflection, our exploration in the world, it is about how transforming our relationship with the world. And it says here that Piaget's role in constructivist teaching highlight that we learn by expanding our knowledge through experiences. Yes, it is true. No? It is the highlight that pag makalearn kita by expanding our knowledge through experiences. When we have our experiences, then we have our knowledge. Why? We learn by our experiences. So these experiences are generated through playing from infancy to adulthood, which is necessary for learning. So when we say infancy to adulthood, we have experiences sa ato pagkabata hangtod sa kuman pagkadako, which is very kailangan, very necessary sa pagtuon for our learnings. And next that it says here, in constructivist classroom, the teacher's role is to prompt and facilitate meaningful exchange of ideas and learning, or the teacher's job is to encourage the students, no, encourage and enable meaningful discussion and learning. So the teacher's main focus or the teacher's primary goal is to guide the pupils through what? Through asking, through asking through the process of development of their own insight and conclusion about the subject through asking question. Yes, through asking question. So we have also following principles here. Constructivist teaching is governed by
So,
following
good day
principles.
everyone and good day ma'am. So, I am Mary Joy Inyusga and I will be reporting about the principles governed by the constructivist teaching. So, in the constructivist classroom, the teacher's role is to prompt and facilitate meaningful exchange of ideas and learning. The teacher's main focus is guiding the students by asking questions that will lead them to develop their own insights and conclusions on the subject. Constructivist teaching is governed by the following principles. So, before we go through to the principles, let me discuss about the constructivist classroom. So it is said that teacher's role is to prompt and facilitate meaningful exchange of ideas and learning. So we all know nga sa isa ka classroom ang teacher gyud ang facilitate ng learning o dapat make way ang teacher na exchange of ideas sa mga students, dili lang kung siya ray give ng ideas but ang students sab dapat. So it is the teacher's main focus is guiding the students. Yes, of course. So by guiding the students, teachers should ask questions that will lead them to develop their own insights and conclusions. So by asking questions to the students, the teacher will be receiving their insights and conclusions. In that way, the teacher will be able to know what the students are thinking and thoughts about the given topic. So next, so this is the one of the principles of constructivist teaching. So we have here engaged the students in the discovery and examination of relevant and meaningful problems. So example, conducting a science fair in school and encourage the students to participate and engage in science experiments and activities that basically happens in real life. So when we say engage the students in the discovery and examination, so dapat gajud na ay interaction between the student and the activity that will happen. So example is kanang mag-experiment sila ng mga butang na pwede sad mahitabo sa balay inanagani. Next, organize curriculum into activities and broad primary concepts. So when we say organize curriculum into activities, so one of the example of this is participation of students in debates, quizzes, seminars, etc. So in this way, the students will be able to open up their mind in the different concepts regarding science. Next is explore and value the students' perspectives. So the teacher should interact with students and classroom activities, place an emphasis on students' interests, motivations, and point of view, and encourage student responsibility and autonomy. So dapat gajud i-explore sab ng teacher and give value sa mga unsay mga thinking or thoughts sa mga students, no, para kibali ma-aware ang teacher kung unsay ila na learned ana. So dapat mag-interact ang teacher sa mga students, tapos i-motivate sab sa teacher ang mga students na mo hatag sa ilang point of view. Next, encourage the students to investigate and challenge their assumptions. So murara ni siya itong sa number 1, no, na hatagan, aside sa hatagan sila ng activities or i-engage sila sa activities, dapat before they engage, dapat i-encourage sila sa teacher na maghimo sila ng investigation about even simple things, rather than challenge nila kung unsa ilang mga nahuna-hunaan na pwede nila ma-find out what's the thing behind their thoughts ana. Then last is use assessment to diagnose and guide the student learning. So before gajud mag-end ang isa ka klase, dapat gajud mag-ask anay ang teacher sa mga student, mag-assist anay ang teacher about sa mga understanding what they've learned, and if ever they have further questions, so that mag-guide ang mag-guide sa teacher ang na-learn sa student, and for the class to have a successful deliberation of topic. So that's all, ma'am. Thank you.